welcome back to the Yes podcast. And then today we are very honored to have Edward. Edward is my friend. And what industry are we in now?
Now we are riding a dirt bike.
Dirt bike. You can see behind, all the bikes behind is really nice. Okay, later we will show you the set. Okay, so Edward, how long have you been riding the motocross with dirt bike?
Active competition since 16 years old.
16! Oh my god, that was like long time ago.
I'm 57 now.
You're 57 now, so that was in 1980s?
In the 80s.
80s?
Yeah,
wow.
when it was at Tuas.
It was at Tuas.
Yeah.
So this happens in Tuas and then...
Tuas to Loyang.
Tuas to Loyang.
And Loyang, end of story in Singapore. From there on, I have to go to Malaysia.
Oh, okay. So after that, you go to Malaysia. Do you ride or do you also organize the race as well?
Well, I'm part of the Motorcycle Safety and Sports Club, and yes, we do organize races last time in Malaysia.
Okay.
At various places from Gelang Peta to somewhere out Gelang Peta, two areas in Gelang Peta, then Ulucho there was races also.
Okay.
And then now Ulucho has stopped. So stop operation, so we have to look for another new place.
Okay.
But when they have to wait for the border to open.
So, of course, now when this COVID-19 thing happened, pandemic happened, you guys are no longer active in Singapore, right?
No, we are still riding in Singapore on a semi-legal land kind of thing.
Legal land, okay.
It's state land, but we're riding. We've been riding there for so many years.
Okay.
So nobody has kept a fuss, and we're hoping it remains that way.
Okay. Finger crossed?
Fingers crossed, yes, fingers crossed.
Okay, so how big is the group of the riders here in Singapore?
Up to 900 people that are riding, and the club has about 600 plus active members.
Is there a sudden drop in the numbers of people involved in motorsports?
Actually, yes, there is a sudden drop compared from the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, okay.
There was actually a very big drop.
Why so? Why do you think there's such a big difference on?
One is that we didn't have a place to ride in Singapore anymore. There wasn't a track anymore, so we had to go to Malaysia. In order to go to Malaysia, you have to make a lot of commitment. Last time in Singapore, you could rent a pickup or rent a van and bring the bikes on the weekend to a track, and then drop the bikes off and return the van, etc., etc. But to go to Malaysia, it's very hard to rent a van because the insurance doesn't cover. So you have to purchase vehicles to tow the bike. So you have to make a very serious commitment to the sport.
Oh, very expensive there.
Yes, the cost factor goes up there.
Okay. So how do you want to promote this activity or this hobby to the youngsters nowadays?
I mean, if we have a facility in Singapore where the youngsters can actually come to the place and ride, that will actually benefit the sport and benefit the youngsters itself. Benefit the younger generation in Singapore, giving them an alternative sport, which will be a lot better for them. See, so it's very important to have a proper facility in Singapore. By doing that, you can lower down the cost, the travelling cost.
Okay, yeah, it's true. The travelling cost actually is one of the big factors that actually youngsters hesitate to actually come.
I mean, we also have to understand. Now you can get a license 16, 17 years old. But to make a commitment to the sport at 16, 17, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifices, and especially if you want to go to Malaysia. So which a lot of youngsters do not have the financial means to do it. So this is where it comes in, is that if you want the sport to grow, you want the younger generation to benefit physically, mentally, socially, you need to have a place in Singapore to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is your wish list? That means to get a place in Singapore.
I mean, yes, of course, to get a place in Singapore. I mean, get a place and develop the place into at least a Asian continental standard circuit, where we can have road racing, motocross, supercross, enduro, development on the sport, a place, sufficient place where people can learn the fundamentals of the sport safety.
True. I think that is very important. The fundamental, the basic
control.
Yeah, the basic theory or the basic practical.
I think the things that people do not understand that our current road structure in Singapore is that the safety schools teach you how to ride the motorcycle, but they don't teach you how to control the motorcycle. That is the difference. When you learn the fundamentals of sport, you learn how to control the motorcycle.
Then I need to learn from you, because I accident a few times because I only know how to ride. I do not know how to control, and I realize that this is so heavy and it's so difficult. But there are so many ladies also in this motocross. I realize there are some ladies also.
There are ladies involved in the sport. See, but over time, as they get married and they have children, they tend to
stay home
and neglect it. It's not like the US where they get married, they have kids, and they still ride.
So currently, are you guys having any activities going on still?
Well, currently we're not. We're trying to source for a piece of land where we can do both enduro and motocross, and also for the kids riding.
Kids riding?
Yes.
Oh, cool! Kids riding. I think a lot of kids might be interested when they see their fathers doing the riding and all this, right?
Yes, and there are a lot of kids. There are a lot of parents actually bring their kids out to ride.
It's so cute. Do we actually have the bike here in Singapore?
Yes. They got a kids bike, yes.
Okay. They got kids bike in Singapore.
Yes.
So how young are the kids? Like usually you see like 5, 6 years old, or like even older, like 7.
No, they can start from about 4 years onwards.
4 years.
But most of the average kids in Singapore start about 5 to 7, between 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
Because of the size.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Asian stature is a bit smaller, so with 5 to 7 they are comfortable.
Okay.
And I think it's good because then they're able to take instructions and understand things better. If too young,
difficult.
Difficult,
It's
yeah.
a bit difficult, right?
It's a bit difficult.
Okay, okay. Okay, so what do you think are the advantage that actually is, for the audience to know that actually motocross is also another type of advantage that you can learn from
Well, I
the
think
hobby?
the motor skills, you start young, the motor skills are estimation, speed estimation, coordination, physical fitness. There's a lot of benefits.
Physical fitness.
Yes.
Talking about that, so what type of physical fitness do you need for motocrossing?
Well, you need a lot of core muscle,
Core muscle.
a lot of core upper body strength, lower body
True.
strength. So it's actually a total workout. It's not a matter of sitting on the bike, but you get actually a total workout when you are trying to muscle the bike and trying to hold on to the bike.
Oh, cool. So how many types of races are there available? Because I think I see a few before.
I mean, right now, we've got the road racing, which is done in Malaysia, the Motard, Supermoto, which is done in Malaysia, and now Singapore, you can do it KF1, and Enduro as well as Motocross.
Enduro as well. What are all the differences that you have mentioned? What are the difference of all these different types
Well, I
of
mean,
course?
the Motard road race is straight away outright, it's a road bike. For Motard, it's a motocross bike, but with a road racing tire.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's done on the tarmac. It's using a bike to race on the tarmac.
Okay.
Okay, then for Enduro, it's basically like a cross-country race. The Motorcross is a closed-circuit off-road race.
Okay. Close. Okay, so you're talking about off-road and road bike. What are the difference between off-road and road bike?
I mean, as you can see from the bikes behind, these are all motocross bikes.
Okay.
So there's no turn signal, there's no
Oh
headlight,
yeah, true.
there's no headlight, the tires are not legal to use on the road. But
Oh.
important thing is that the engine itself is good for high RPM usage. It's good for speed, not durability. And it's got a close ratio gearbox, so it makes it riding on the road a bit difficult.
Okay.
So these are race bikes, so the maintenance aspect is higher. It's built for speed, not built for durability.
Okay. I see. Built for speed, not
Yes.
for durability.
Whereas the enduro bike, you have more durability down there and a bit less speed than a
Okay,
motocross bike.
I see. So, actually, one more thing I'd like to know is what spurs you to want to to do this? It's so not so common, Is it very common in olden days?
In the 80s, it was quite common. A lot of people went into it because it was easier. There was more space available,
Oh,
and people were more daring then.
okay.
People were more daring then. It's not like nowadays. A lot of people tend to be a bit on the cautious side.
Cautious. Yes.
You see.
Okay. So what actually excites you on motocross?
I think it's the rush, and the satisfaction of trying to do obstacle for the first time, gaining a confidence to do obstacle for the first time. I think that is the biggest thrill.
Okay. So you have been into competition before, right?
Yes.
So where have you been?
Well, I've done the Singapore National Championship, which was sponsored by Castrol.
Wow.
That was in the 80s, and
Castrol is very
old
school,
Castrol. Then there was a Castrol Malaysia Championship also. Yeah. So we were at the tail end of the championship.
Okay.
Then after that, I was fortunate enough to do the Real at Sumatra Regional Championship in Indonesia for about 3 years plus.
Wow.
4 years.
Wow.
Well, in between then, we also went to Cambodia to race a few times. Australia. I've been to the States.
Wow.
So,
You've been to the States for competition as well?
I've been to the States for coaching course.
Coaching? Okay.
So, I'm a certified
coach for motor race.
For motorcycle sports.
Oh, okay. So, so when you do the overseas motocross, do you have to transport all your motorcycle there?
Only for Cambodia.
But the rest are all like the local sponsor.
We use the local bikes.
Oh, okay. Is there a difference between the local bikes and the bikes here in Singapore?
In the 80s, Singapore was more advanced. But nowadays, overseas countries like Thailand or Cambodia, they get just they get the modern bikes too. There's
really?
No difference.
So what do you think is the reason why? Why is it like before we were so advanced, but now it's like?
I think one is support from the so-called association in charge. They're not so supportive of motorcycle sports.
Okay.
And two is that Sports SG and the government state boards are not very supportive also.
Okay.
They seem to think that it's a niche sport and things like that.
Okay, but actually there are a lot of people actually doing the motorcycle. If let's say motocross is also happening more often in Singapore, it's also good for the economy. What don't you think so?
Precisely, I think things that motorsports help out the motorcycle trade tremendously. Because when you're doing competition, a lot of people do not wait for the parts to wear out. So there's a lot of preventive maintenance. A lot of people want to have the advantage or do not want to give up any advantage to the competition. So for example, they tend to use newer tires and do not wait for tires to get halfway worn and things like that. And a lot of preventive maintenance to prevent the bike from breaking down.
Okay.
So that will help the economy, the motorcycle trade out locally. Anywhere else in the world, it's a thing where the motorcycle sports do help out the motorcycle trade in the particular country.
True.
Anywhere in the world.
True.
And it's not only concerning motorcycle sports. I think most other extreme sports, whether you take diving.
Yeah, exactly. Diving is the same thing.
Same thing also.
Yeah. Like now we can't dive overseas because we can't travel. Like I'm a diver, so I'm not able to travel nowadays. So, but I dive in Singapore. But actually, Edward is also a diver. So I dive in Singapore. Pulau Hantu.
No longer active. Was.
Yeah, he was. When he told me about his story about diving, is like, oh my god, really?
Was a diver now no longer.
Yeah,
diver.
so now he do extreme sports. This is more extreme than diving because I think he want to find more thrill in his life than just diving. Diving is no longer thrill to him.
I think with any extreme sport, there's the cost factor involved.
The cost factor. Yeah.
So whether it's diving, go-karting, mountain biking or dirt biking, there's always a cost involved. For me, it also make more of economic. Which one I prefer more? So which one I enjoy more? So I enjoy riding dirt bikes, racing dirt bikes more than diving. more adrenaline and there's a bigger
Thrill,
rush.
right? Yeah.
Bigger rush. But the thing that I've done all the things I wanted to do. So when except for diving, except for a wooden shipwreck dive. So that's the only thing I miss off my bucket list.
Okay.
All the rest I've done, so I'm happy with it.
You're happy with it?
Yes.
So, do you think Singapore will be able to come up with a track or a route that is possible for the people to actually utilize it?
I think with its COVID situation, where pre-COVID we were going to Malaysia every weekend,
Yeah.
and the riders were supporting the economy down there in terms of food, fuel,
Correct.
travelling, toll fees and everything.
Yeah.
You see, so there was a lot of economic contribution done by the people, by the riders,
Yep.
whether road racing or enduro or motorcross bikes. So we're throwing a lot of money into Malaysia then.
True.
Because we didn't have a proper place to do it in Singapore.
True. But if we have,
Then I mean there's always an option. There's no denying the fact that Malaysia has got better competition. So but I think that if we have a track in Singapore, at least we can groom younger riders and we have a place to practice before we go up to Malaysia to take part in competition.
True.
And if you can make a name for yourself in Malaysia, then your prospects will be better.
I totally agree with that, because initially when we can't dive in, or we travel a lot overseas for diving, and we kind of neglect the area in Singapore for diving, and then now that we find the local diver find that actually the local diving is also not too bad. I think for me personally, even after COVID-19 finish and I can travel out for diving, I will still dive in Singapore, because I find that Singapore dive site is not too bad. Eventually, you know.
Yeah, but for you, for us, we want a place where we can do it. Even after COVID, where we can do it, where we can groom and where we can grow the sport.
Yeah, correct.
I think a lot of where it's lacking is that a lot of people do not understand that we need to grow the sport. Any sport, we need to grow the sport. We do not have a vast pool of people or facilities available, so we have to make facilities available to the public for us to grow the sport, for the sport to grow, and for the association or for the club or the government step board to find ways to suit the needs of the people that want to take part in the sport. The biggest problem would be storage of the motorcycles, because these bikes cannot be parked on the public car park and things like that.
So you can't park in your HDB also?
Yes, cannot park in the HDB.
Okay, oh no. Okay.
So there are a lot of people that have agreements with the shops to tie up the park. And this is where, because they're parking in the shop, but because there's no races,
so they can't use.
So the shop cannot maintain the bike, cannot change things. So it's a vicious cycle that goes around.
True.
So
that.
So I think with even with safety distance and things like that, this is a sport that still can be done and it really doesn't affect during the COVID time, because we're not going to talk to each other when we're riding the bike.
Yeah. So what are the things or what are the steps, procedure to get into these sports?
I think basically first thing is the mental aspect. You must want to do it and you must be prepared to make sacrifices. You cannot have the whole pie. That's the thing. So you have to understand that giving up certain aspect for the sport now. So if you're getting an off-road bike, buying an off-road bike is one thing, storing an off-road bike, and then transporting the bike to the riding areas. So these are all the initial steps which anybody has got to sort it out at the bottom level.
Okay, lastly, I would like to ask you one last question. What is the thing that you would like to say to the audience on motocross? Like, is it the fun thing, or do you kind of encourage them to come and try it out? And is there a way that they can they can reach out?
I think the best way to reach out is to the club, the Motorcycle Safety and Sports Club.
So M Motorcycle MC
MSSC.
MSSC.
Yes.
Here.
Yes, yes,
Oh, MSSC.
Yes.
Yes, MSSC. So yes, check out on the club so that you can know more information in the club if you want to know more about the bike and all these organization or all the activity that they are actually doing. And yeah, it is actually a very fun sport. But okay, I'm very chicken now. I'm not that daring to do it. But those people who wanted to try it out, no harm dropping us an email, or you can go down to the website to check it out, and also you can drop us a line. Edward will be very, very happy to reply to you, or he can reply to me and then I can write it down. Right?
Yes.
Edward, thank you so much for the
welcome.
interview, and we'll see you next time.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye. So see, the off-road bike, the tires is different. It's actually there's off-road different bikes, so it's more sticky to the ground, so they will not get sticky.
Not that off-road. The one that can prevent me from shipping. Okay. I got that